Perfect. So here we are at Dcentral Miami,
Yeah.
and Trey's here with his VIP pass. Not us, but this is going out to Ray.
Yeah, to Trey and.
No, and to Ray. Say hi to Ray.
Oh yeah, Ray Fuentes. I'm a huge fan of yours, man. I follow the little outtakes that you do, giving updates to the community. I'm a really big fan of who you are and what you're doing, and what Linqto is doing for the private investing space.
Oh, so I want to get into that since you brought it up.
Yeah,
Trey,
yeah.
tell us, what is Linqto doing, and what do you see us accomplishing?
So here's what I know. So professionally, for the last 15 years, I've helped grow tech startups in the healthcare space. And all of my companies that I've worked for have done really, really well. And I've had friends and colleagues and business partners say, well, how can I invest? And like, well, you can't because we haven't IPO'd yet. So from what I know, Linqto gives you the ability to invest in early stage companies before they go, before they go private. No, I'm sorry, before they go public or before they IPO. And you only have to invest maybe $10,000, sometimes $5,000. So I'm really excited about that concept. I'm a Linqto investor as well, so excited about what you're doing.
I love it because we say to folks and companies who haven't actually gone public and maybe are mid to late stage growth companies, and sometimes we meet with the founders of the companies, and we says, hey guys, you should put your company on our platform. Let us invest in your company.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they said, well, why would we do that? And my response is, well, there's several reasons why you would do that. One is you allow founders and employees to have liquidity. Second, we can do a price discovery for the value of your company before you become public. But those are the two most obvious ones. And I said, yeah? I said, think about it. Do you have customers in this country? Yes. Do you have customers globally? Yes. Do they love what you do? Yes.
Yeah.
Then why don't you give those customers an opportunity to invest in your company?
Exactly. And being early is everything. So I've been fortunate. I've been like the 20th employee or the 40th employee for some really dynamic companies, and I've been able to kind of benefit from all of the growth over the years. Investors want to do the same thing. They want to be able to get in early. They don't want to invest when, well, you can invest when the stock is at $13 or $50, but you can't invest as much, and you can't benefit over the growth of those assets over time.
Trey, thank you so much for being a fan of Linqto. We appreciate you. Because of you, we grow.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
But let's talk about you. Let's talk about why you are here in Miami at Dcentral. Talk to us a little bit about your history and what you hope to achieve and what you've seen happen in your life over the last little while.
Yeah, so I started, as I mentioned, I started working for healthcare tech companies, growing tech startups kind of from a kind of 0 to 10, 15 million kind of phase of growth. And I've done that multiple times, 4 or 5 times. And so I really like high growth. So when I was exposed to blockchain, it just blew my mind. And I was exposed to all of these companies like Linqto, like Ripple, like PolySign, who have real world use cases. They're solving real problems, and they have very strategic partnerships with large players in the industry. And it's like, wow, like the world is changing before our eyes, and I never thought I'd be able to be a part of something like this. So I started doing my research, and I took particular interest in the XDC network. So that's kind of what I'm doing here and representing. Started with an NFT project, multi-chain NFT project called Dope Club NFT, and the project did really well. Grew to a point and had an opportunity to acquire the marketplace that we were listed on. So we acquired XDC NFT, and when I attended Dcentral in Austin 6 months ago, that I was kind of getting the word out about my projects, but I realized no one had even heard about the XDC network or the Zenfin blockchain. So I've kind of refocused my efforts, and now I've created a central hub for the entire XDC community, and we shine a light on all of the projects building on XDC.
Tell us a little bit more about XDC.
Yeah, so I just believe it's going to be, there's, 20,000 projects out there today. I think at the end of the day, there's only going to be 20 or 30 who have staying power, and I believe firmly that XDC will be one of those for a lot of reasons. A lot of blockchains have certain limitations, but XDC, I want to say their transactions per second is like 2,500 per second, where Ethereum is maybe like 10 or 15. they also have a hybrid blockchain, both public and private. So when you want to do business with corporates or large banks, you can't have everything transparent on the blockchain. It's also very, very secure, so enterprise grade security. And there's just projects that are being built on it today that I believe are going to change the world in the future. So
Sure.
I'm just planted my flag on the XDC network, and I don't deal with a lot of the maybe commercial-facing projects. I'm on kind of the retail side, the NFTs and the NFT marketplace, but just really passionate about the network and trying to help grow it as an ambassador.
So, when you talk about your background with the health tech industry,
Yeah.
and you relate that to blockchain, how do you see, with your experience, obviously you have several years of experience in the medical environment,
Yeah.
medical technology, how have you seen that evolved over the last couple of years, and how do you see that evolving in the next 2 to 3 years with that space on blockchain?
So, in one word, the perspective that really helped me from healthcare to blockchain was interoperability. Because in healthcare, everything has to speak with each other. So you go into a hospital, you have devices, you have systems, like they all need to talk with each other and be interoperable. But when I came into blockchain, everything was siloed, extremely fragmented. You have your Bitcoin, projects and ecosystem, and then you have Cosmos, and then you have Polygon, and then you have the XRPL, but there's not a lot of communication between them. So that was the first thing I noticed. So for that reason, both my NFT project and the marketplace are multi-chain and cross-chain, because my goal is to unlock collaboration, unlock innovation, for us, kind of grow the total addressable market, of like what's available, and not just be limited to this little, to the, kind of the smaller sphere of like the ecosystem that you're currently in. I just want to grow and expand it over time. Well, as quickly as possible. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's really important to understand that the limitations that exist today and what you're building and what you're looking at to make sure there's interoperability between the two that makes all of this function.
Yeah.
And as you see, obviously we've seen a couple of unfortunate instances of what's happened over the last 2 weeks
Yeah.
in that crypto space.
Yeah.
What have you seen the response of your community to be to that?
I can't speak to what the community has really responded to per se, but I'm almost kind of glad that those things happen, because it forces our regulators, our Congress, our SEC, CFTC, to put regulation in place. So you never know who it's going to be, and I hate that it happened. I hate that people, lost their fortunes. I hate that people lost their savings. But hopefully, and instead of, let's say the plan was to have regulation rolled out in 6 months, if this FTX crash, shortens that window, and we have regulation in 2 or 3 months, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but I just hope it speeds it up.
Yeah. It's so important. I mean, I think we got to pay attention to that bigger picture, whereby we've seen a lot of individuals who put their life savings in there.
Yeah.
Forget the VCs; they're using other people's money.
Yeah, exactly.
But think about all the people who put their own cash in and are suffering through that. So we're calling you all out to make sure that these things are regularized, so that we can continue with strength and confidence into this market. As you sit here at Dcentral, and obviously this podcast is going to live on for a little bit past this event, what is your message? Who is it that you want to connect with to help you do what you do?
That's a great question. So I'm just looking for people who want to collaborate and grow specifically the XDC ecosystem for now, but there's also like cross. Here recently we announced a partnership with collaboration with OneChain, and OneChain allowed us to take our XDC NFTs and build NFT bridges to Binance Chain, to Ethereum, and to Polygon. So what that allowed us to do is expand our total addressable market. So I'm always looking for partnerships and collaborations that allow us to kind of strengthen our offering, that allow us to get more exposure to other blockchains, and like I said, unlock collaboration, unlock innovation. So.
And give us a timeline of when you see XDC really being a powerhouse?
Yeah, I think 2023 will be a really special year for XDC. There's a lot of things, there's companies like Impel who are working with financial institutions and helping with the ISO 20022 messaging. And they've partnered with a company called Fluent Finance to build a stable coin called US Plus. And that project could potentially bring billions of dollars into the XDC network. So I'm really excited about projects like that. You have companies like MetaBlocks who are building a metaverse on XDC. You have companies like Globiance who have merged both a bank and a crypto exchange. So there's some exciting things going on in the XDC network. No one's just ever heard of it. But it's opportunities like this, and I thank you for having me on.
Oh, no.
That allow us to get the word out.
This is great because we learn a little bit more, and so many things are evolving and evolving quickly. So we're at the end of 2022 almost, and you're seeing XDC is going to be explosive in 2023.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a big year. I think we'll have. I think me personally, this is outside of I'm not affiliated with XDC directly. I'm just a passionate ambassador. But I think there's two things we're waiting on for the industry. One, I think is regulation, and then two, institutional custody. I think when the Bank of Americas, the Wells Fargos, the Fidelities, the BNY Mellons can say, hey, don't keep that whatever you've accumulated on your ledger in your closet. Put it in the vault. Put your 5 million in the vault. And then we also want you to speak with our financial advisors, so they'll recommend various investment vehicles so that you can grow that number over time.
Perfect.
So I think when we have institutional custody and regulation, I think that's when everything takes off. So I'd say roughly around 2025. I kind of have like a 3-year timeline in my head.
Well, you've got time.
Yeah.
Let's
time.
build it together. But before we leave you, or you leave us here, in terms of your medical consultancy business, how can the audience help? What are you looking for there?
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, my name's Lloyd Nelson on LinkedIn. So feel free to reach out to me. So it's HTC Consulting, so it's healthcare technology commercialization. So I just kind of help take companies from zero to help them with messaging, help them with kind of go-to-market strategies and kind of operating plans, and just help them take their growth kind of to an exponential level.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And they'll find you how?
On LinkedIn.
Okay.
Lloyd Nelson.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
I think that's it. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. I appreciate you having me on. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye from Miami.
Yeah, thank you.